these lower panels here have a lot of rust damage, and the rust is actually right along in here. But it comes down into here enough, actually it's right down in here, I can feel it. So I've got to create a panel that goes in to this area right here. What I'm doing here is a process that Ray Chalene, I think his website is called proshaper.com, the process that he uses creating what he calls a flexible shape pattern. So I laid down a layer of the special masking tape that he sells. It's low tack, so it peels off easy. It's not designed to be a paint masking tape. It's designed specifically for this purpose. I laid down a layer of that, laid in this blue tape so that I had an outline of where I need to form edges. So this is where I can cut this off on this upper edge of here. This is where it's going to be welded into the upper panel. I've got a lip over here that I've got to form up. I've got a lip down here that has to be formed up. And then this lip goes from being a lip to being an edge to being a lip again right around in here. So what I've done is I've laid out a grid pattern here, and vertical lines are A, B, C, D, and E, and then horizontal lines coming across are 1, 2, and 3. Now the next step I need to do is take and cut pieces of cardboard that will stand up right along in here and have drawn on them and cut out the shape of the curve right at this point. So that I have a pattern of the curve at this point, 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 a pattern of the curve at this point. Then I need to come back and make patterns for 1, 2, and 3 this way that show the curve going in this direction. And when I get that all done, what I should be able to do is form up the sheet of metal off of the car and take this pattern, and when this pattern finally fits on it perfectly, I know that I have a piece of steel that will fit in when I cut this out, and it will fit in perfectly. It took me roughly an hour to lay this out. It's probably going to take me another 15 minutes, maybe another half hour to do all of the individual gauges that go for each of these lines. This is one way of doing it. Now, a lot of the people who do this sort of work do it with a paper flat pattern. I started out with that light masking tape this way. Then I put a layer of reinforced tape, and it's not regular nylon reinforcement. It doesn't have as tight of a lines of nylon as regular does, and because of that it lays down on curves much better. I put down a layer of that in this way, so first layer was this way, second layer, the first layer of the nylon tape went this way. I then wrote all of this information in here on that first layer of nylon. I then came back in and put a second layer of nylon going in this direction. Was that necessary? I don't know, but I did it anyways. Then I came back and reaffirmed my lines on everything once again on the top layer. So this is now ready to be cut out. I've made a note that I need to add like 1.5 inches down on this edge, probably 1 inch or 1.5 inches in here and all the way across, and the same around this way to whatever my total is for my pattern so that I have some extra material when I'm maneuvering it within the English wheel. So that's what the plan is for that. I've put in a grid work here, so now I'm at the point of putting in and creating templates for each of these individual spots. There's not a lot of change between here and here, so that's why I have such a big distance. More change between these, so that's why they get tighter and tighter. All right, now then, next step is to create a template for each one of these spots. So what most people suggest to do is, yeah, you go kind of like this, and you draw kind of a line like that, and so that's roughly what you think it's going to be. Then you take and you cut out your pattern with a pair of scissors like this, and kind of hope that you get something that kind of sort of matches. And then you see, well, I got a big gap here and I got a big gap up here. So now I come back and I go, okay, well, I know I've got to cut some more out in here and then some up here. So I'll cut that like that, and then, hell with it. There's a better way of doing this. New piece of cardboard. What I've done is I've taped the pen, one of these markers, to a piece of wood, and that gives me about 1/2 inch. So I can come up here like this, line this piece up, and I have an exact tracing of the shape of the car right there. Let's come over here, and I will cut this. Just like that. So that should come down like that. This area right in here is fine. This is the area that I'm concerned with. So let's put a mark on this thing. Now if I come around and look at this from the back side, now then I'm shining my light from the back side, and I don't think that you can see any light coming through. So in one step, I've got a nice, tight, accurate pattern. One thing I do want to do is I want to line my pattern up right there. Put a line right there. And I'll put another line right there. So this is 2, and this is 3. And this is A. Flip it to the back side. Line up my lines on the front. Two, 3, A. And there I go. Line that up there, line it up there, like that. If I want to get real fancy, I can put a little mark up here, indicating that's the top of that, and that's the bottom of that. And I'm all set. This last part is particularly difficult because there's just so much curve in that area. And there's some damage too, but I think we've finally got it. So there's one there, one there. Yeah, I think that finally does it. This is rotted and busted in here, but I think it should go around more like this is shaped. So this is top. This is E. This is 3, 2, and 1. Okay, there's my 5 vertical patterns. Let's see about doing horizontal patterns. Which one do I want to do first? Let's try doing this one first, I guess. This is where it would help to have about 3 more hands. Let's try coming back to, oops. Let's try holding the pen right. Let's try coming back to about here. That fits perfect. Now the only question is, do I actually want to go a little bit deeper because I'm not getting all the way back to the very back on that piece. So I think what I will do, the hell, there we go. Line that up there. I think that will make it. There's a real tight dip back here that's hard to get. One of the things they suggest is using a sanding block to sand it down to get it to the final shape, and I think I've just pretty much got it where it needs to be. This is A, B, C, D, E. Just like that. Big 2 on it. Goes with line 2. Beauteous. So I've got my top done, line 3 done, line 2 done, beauteous. And I've got all my verticals, and I've got my marks where I can line them up. So that leaves me with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guides, templates, whatever you want to call them. Starting back here with E. D. C. B. Oops, and A. And then top 2, 3, and 4. I'm not going to bother trying to make one for the very bottom of this, because that goes around and it jogs up and it jogs down, and so it's kind of a mess trying to make one. So I'm not going to worry about that, because it's pretty much just a fold down here at the bottom. So that's what's going on with that. So hopefully I've given you an idea on another way of doing these flexible shape patterns. This is what seems to work well for me. Your mileage may vary, and probably should. And the next thing I may get into is doing hanging the doors. Now that I've had a little time to calm down and get away from them, I've got to finish pounding out dents and stuff back here, and then I've got to make these pieces for left and right sides. So lots of stuff coming up. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Got a better idea? Let everybody know. Put it down in the comments. Let everybody know. Am I a genius on this? No. I'm just going on consolidating all the information that I've picked up from, I don't know, 15 or 20 different other people out there. Some people are professionals that do this for a living. Some people are just, kind of amateurs like me. I try to grab the good ideas, and if I can make use of them, whether they're from an amateur or professional, I'll give that a try. I don't have $250,000 worth of equipment like some of the professionals have. All I've got is basically, what you might pick up, Harbor Freight. I guess in Canada it's called Princess Auto or whatever, and pick it up maybe off of Amazon or wherever else. That's Facebook Marketplace for a couple pieces of equipment I've got. But that's the what I'm working with. So like, share, comment, subscribe, and until next week, you folks have a blessed life, and BugeyeBob over and out.